Right, so welcome to episode 4 of the Junior Bodybuilding series. So today we're going to be doing the first pull session that we actually recording for you for this series. It's probably my favourite session overall. It's absolutely brutal. We don't have any biceps involved in it, so it's pretty much a back session. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is at the moment. We haven't got any hamstring work in there, whereas before it was more of sort of like a posterior day, so we'd have a bit of hamstrings in there as well. But we've got the deadlift in today, so I've got 2 rotations with a pull day. So we've got the deadlifts in, and then obviously the bend over rows. So today we've got the fun one, we've got the deadlift. Last week I managed 260 for 7. So I'm still undecided on what weight I'm going to chuck on the bar today, because for a top set I would be happy with the reps actually coming down, so putting more weight on. But it's just going to depend on how the warm-ups are going to go, or if I'm not feeling particularly strong, I'll stick with the 260, try to get 10 reps for the top set, even though it's not typically a top set with the low reps. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So we'll warm up, we'll do a little bit of ab work, core work, try and get the internal core muscles firing, so we'll use the torso twist. So I try to do that like potentiation set, so it's nothing to failure. I'm not really trying to grow my core, because the amount of core work that gets done from all the compounds anyways, you know, eventually over time it's just going to thicken up, and that's not great for bodybuilding. But I want to keep it strong. That's all I care about, is keeping the core strong. The definition and everything comes from taking all the body fat off anyway. So yeah, so that's first. Then we've got, we want to pre-exhaust the lats, so we usually use the pullover. We haven't got the pullover machine in yet. It was meant to come in this week, but now they're actually having to widen it, and this isn't because I'm massive, right? But we've got a lot of big boys here, and basically they've made it slightly too narrow, so that when you go back, the pads will actually be catching on the lats, and especially as we want to go bigger and grow, that's not actually going to be ideal, because you won't be able to fit in the machine. But it looks absolutely amazing, so I'm excited for that. So that'll be here in 10 weeks now, because it's been adjusted. So we'll be using a cable rope pullover instead, which will a cable rope pullover, yeah, as a pre-exhaust for the lats. So basically what that's going to mean is, when we move on to the big compound, the deadlift, the lats will be fatiguing pretty much before anything else, hopefully, so they're going to take the brunt of the work. So yeah, and then on, I'll be able to talk you through the rest of the session, hopefully. The gym's open today, we're training without a mic or anything, so I'll struggle to get words in clearly, so we're going to try not to talk as much, and I'm going to try and explain at the end of the session, or before, just like now, what's going to be going on. So yeah, let's just get on with it, and we'll have a bit of fun. Okay, so before we go into the deadlift, I just want to talk about the reason I'm choosing to work in a different station to Fitzy today. He feels more comfortable with the Texas deadlift bar, which has got a little bit more whip in the bar, a little bit more bend. So you actually initiate the lift a little bit higher, but there's a lot more whip at the top. The reason I'm choosing to work with a typical Olympic bar, which is a lot stiffer, so the weights don't bounce around as much when they're in the air, is because I'm trying to go for more reps, and he's just trying to go for a 1-repper. So that's literally the reason, because when it's whipping a lot more, it's a lot harder to stabilize and control, whereas that's not the goal for me. The goal for me is hypertrophy in the back, and the density of the back. So I want to really be in a nice stable position with the deadlift, and just focus on the contraction and getting the good reps with decent technique, keeping the form good, whereas the whip is just going to make it hard for me to stabilize. If I was training to improve my deadlift, then I'd stick with the Texas bar, but I'm not, so I'm going to stick with that bar. It's a bit frustrating, because it's better when we work together, but we're going to be loading up bars in different positions, and yeah, that's the reason behind that.
Move like there are days you feel freedom too. Bask in the glorious lightning. Move like the sunlight, darkness can't hold you here. Bold and bright, push through the atmosphere. Move like the sunlight.
Right, so for top set done, we do our 270. I couldn't get my grip right, and that's the first time I've ever struggled with grip with the straps. I just couldn't get them right, and the strength wasn't fast anyway. Normally I'm a really fast deadlifter. Like if the weight's gonna move, it'll move fast. If it's not gonna move, it won't move at all. I'm not one of those to usually grind weight out. Yeah, so 270 for 4. Not happy with it, but it wasn't even a mental block. I was expected to smash that compared to last week, so it was 260 for 7 last week. Obviously we're up 10 kilos, but I'm disappointed, so I've just got to, it's that time now where you flip the switch. You either let that dwindle in your head, because the top set's done, we've still got the rest of the session to go, or I can just forget about it, put it away. It was a shit set, not how I wanted it to go, and really switch it on now for this back off with 220, which I've got to do. So got to beat the reps from last week now. I'll take the progression, you know, we're up 10 kilos, but next week I've got to get 270 for a good solid 8 reps, double it and make myself happy. But now we've got to focus on what's now. You leave that behind and make 220 on the pitch.
Watch us run to where no one knows we'll never grow.
Just to go over what I was talking about with Fitzy, you can't hear because the music is so loud in the gym. Basically what I'm telling Fitzy to do is, I noticed in his deadlift, in his warm-up deadlift, that his positioning wasn't quite right, and this was literally like the last set before he actually attempted, I think, the 200, which was the last warm-up, and then the 220, which he managed to PB on, which is fantastic. Basically his hand positioning was a little bit wider than it needed to be. I always tell anyone that's starting a deadlift, the cues are to bring your arms in as close as possible without affecting your knees or pushing your knees in, because first up you should set up anyway with your hips. Your hip is where the power comes from. You should set up with your stance, and that should be the main priority of the deadlift, and then you just work your grip around that and bring it as close as possible, because the closer you come in, the closer the bar is to the ground, and the least amount you have to pull it from the ground, so that makes more sense. But anyway, the next thing was the brace I was talking about, creating intra-abdominal pressure. So you've got the transverse abdominis, if you know your anatomy, which is basically the belt of your abs, of your core. So it's like a weightlifter belt, but it's built in. We have it, we all have it. And basically what happens is when you bring in air, you breathe in, you can actually control it to a point where you hold in and choke yourself so you don't let any air out, and by doing so you can actually brace harder, and create more intra-abdominal pressure. That's going to protect your spine, it's going to make you a lot stronger, it's going to give you something to push off, and it connects everything together when that is switched on. So basically I noticed he was very weak in his bracing on the warm-up, and that was forcing him to have a really hard lockout and struggling to lock out, whereas if your core is tight,
usually your lockout can be quite strong, or it will continue to move, even though the lockout might be quite slow. Whereas if you're weak, you'll end up having a little bit of a bend in the lower back, and that can almost be, it can stop you picking up the bar completely, so it's crucial. So yeah, those were the two things I picked up on him with that, and then it was just a last minute few cues before the big lift, before the big PB. I was just speaking to him, whispering in his ear, just telling him how much he's put into this, just reminding him of the last 4 months, everything has built up to this. Some people I can tip them over the edge, some people can make them really switch on and be like, yeah, I'm going to make this no matter what. So that's what I was trying to get, to just switch on and just give it absolutely everything. I'll be honest, I didn't expect him to get a lift, but he managed to pull it off, which makes it all the more impressive. So yeah, fantastic lift.
This is not how we're gonna go. We are the ones who will never let go. Just watch us run to where no one knows.
Come on! Drive it up, come on! Locky, stay, come on! Fight different, shoulders back! Nice, that's it! Good, yeah, no. Good. Talking about that. We're talking about it. Brilliant. That count? Yeah,
We'll never grow.
Come on. Nice. And again. Drive, come on. That's it, nice. Good. That's it. Drive it back. Come on. Nice, there we go.
Come on. Find this one out now. Back. Now we going. Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. Bring it back. Nice, and again. Good, come on, Fitz. Come on. Drive it back. Squeeze. Nice. Good. And again. Come on, make it move. Nice. Good. None of that is nice, is it?
No. I think I'm
Any back exercise after this, it's like actual fucking pain.
Yeah.
There's no, you see all these people, I don't know, I don't want to rant about training, but I do want to rant about training, because if you see all these people training back, right, one of the biggest muscle groups you've got in your body, they can shift a lot of weight, and they're doing all this pumping stuff, reps, high volume. Jesus Christ. You try and do one set like this, and you're full on connecting, using your anatomy properly. You know, all of the functions of the lateral flexion at the bottom. You shouldn't be able to train the lat with both hands at the same time properly. You can't get that full contraction. You do that perfectly, with a lot of weight. Control the eccentrics. It's like, I can't even describe the feeling. It's it actually hurts. Like, there's no enjoyment in it. It takes your breath away. I don't know. I love the feeling afterwards, but when you're doing it, you just want it to stop, and that's why when you take it to failure, and then you've got the 4 strips coming in with him, helping me on the concentric. When I fail about halfway down, I can't get that full contraction. He pushes me down, and then I'm controlling the eccentric to the point where, if he leaves me go, and I'm trying to control the eccentric, the weight will just go, because that's completely fatigued, completely failed, it's got no more strength left in it. You do one set like that, there's no way you'll be able to do your high volume stuff. It's, yeah, that's my rant over.
So, if you're failing on the eccentric and the concentric, there's no point you really have to do anymore, because...
No, because it's
completely flat.
Yeah. Unless you want to bring in a drop set, which will accumulate more volume.
Yeah.
Nice, that's it, perfect. Now we're working. Squeeze it back. Nice, you, all you. And again, drive. Squeeze it, keep it moving. Nice, you, hold. Nice, that's it, push it back. And again, last one. Come on, you still got it, Good, go. Yeah, and again, last one then. Till it's fat. Come on, you control this out there then. Let's go. Good.
Nice reps, come on. Hey, drive it back. 4, 8 left, let's go. Oh, you, let's go. Come on, control it.
Good, come on. Good, again, come on, hold it back. Nice, that's it, again. Come on. Good, again. Come on. And again, last one. Squeeze it back, I have nothing to say. I can't fucking speak.
6, 7, 8, come on. You've got it. 9.
Come on. Drive it. Go on, and again. Come on. Nice, squeeze it back, come on.
That's it.
And again. Squeeze it back, come on. Nice, there we are. Nice. Lovely.
15, come on. 60, 70, 80.
Right, okay, so I think so we've done the Nautilus pull down, a lovely exercise isolation for the lats, and we've done the unilateral row as well, seated row. They're the hardest exercises I find, but to be honest, it's all ridiculously hard. On a deadlift day, I'm absolutely wrecked. Like I was just saying, trying to speak to Sally now, saying like, I can't even think of words to say to bring a decent sentence to put together on YouTube or for you guys. There's nothing I can say that's actually going to be of any value at this point in the session. I'd rather speak after it when I can actually think. So I'm just going to finish now. We're going to do the Cybex seated row upstairs. We've got a little bit of rear delts to do, and every day, like I said, we're doing calves now. We're doing some sort of calves. So I'm trialing it. I'm doing it every day, keeping the frequency high, so it's every day, apart from rest days, and keeping the volume low, so that I can do them every day without causing. I don't think there's any problem of overtraining calves. Yeah, I'm going to trial that. If that works, then great. It worked for me last year. But yeah, I just need to get a decent pair of calves now. I'll do whatever it takes to get them. So.
You left my heart in pain. You want me to stay, yeah, but I can barely use it now. You left my heart in pain.
you for watching another episode. This is episode 4. Anyway, so we thought last episode was going to be the last one with Fitzy, but he managed to stay a couple of days extra because he wanted to get our max deadlift filmed. But yeah, I didn't expect him to get 220, so it's crazy to see him do 220. I think when he first started, he started training with me in lockdown when he was out and doing the gym up with us, and yeah, his deadlift was like 160 at that point, something like that. So he's been consistently training every single day and taking the same rest days as me, so we train together every day. So it's going to be weird not having him to train now, because he knows how I like to train. He knows how to push me, give me those extra reps. It's going to be hard training from now on without him. But we've got to get it done, and we will get it done. We just have to find a way of ramping up the intensity without the force reps. So we'll have to probably bring in a little bit more volume to make up for those lost reps that I'm not going to be able to get without the spotter. So yeah, I'll talk about that in the next video when it comes to it. But yeah, I'll leave it like this now. I was absolutely drained throughout this session, so I wasn't able to think of much things to say. We just got on with it, and it was a full-on 3-hour session. Sonny's been here for 3 hours now, so I don't want to keep him too much longer, but the videos are crazy. The feedback from them is great, so I'm glad you like them, and we'll keep them going all the way until a competitive season next year, so it's going to be exciting. The size has started to ramp up now. I managed to gain, in a month, it's been a month now, it's been just over 10 kilos in body weight, so we're going to keep that going up, and as long as body composition and body fat levels stay in a good position, so the condition stays good, I'll push that up as high as possible. So we could be looking at 115 kilo body weight, maybe 120 if it's good, so yeah, it's exciting. So yeah, subscribe and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see, and see you soon. Thank you. Make sure you check out the member site if you want any informative videos. This series is just going to be on YouTube and the member site, but for all the informative short videos, we've got loads on nutrition, supplements, training, anything like that. That's all on the member site. So yeah, check that out, www.teampowerbuilding.com. So yeah, I'll see you soon.